Two men, two microphones, one movie, a couple of beers, and some wildly outlandish critiques about the movies you may or may not love. The following review will have massive spoilers and possibly offensive commentary. This content may not be suitable for little bitches. Brought to you by Goat Straw Entertainment and some liquid courage.
Hey, welcome back, movie lovers. Welcome back to another episode of Not Your Everyday Critics. I'm your host, George Lugo.
I'm David Raby.
And if you've never seen the show before, what we do is rate, critique, and review movies of every genre, budget, and production. Everything from, let's say Western to sci-fi.
And anything under the sun.
Anything under the sun. And, what the amount of like 500,000 movies in all of existence, we have a lot of movies to go through. Some movies are... I'm not going to say some. Movies are subjective, so everyone's going to have a different taste in movies. So if you would be open to our interpretation of this review, maybe you'll enjoy it. So what do you say we jump right in to our critique today? We're going to be critiquing Ocean's 11, the 1960 budget film with the Rat Pack.
The entire crew.
The whole crew.
Summit.
Yeah. And I'm a little excited for this because,
this is your first time watching it.
This is my first time watching this, so we decided to spice it up. We got dressed up.
Got a little snazzy.
Change of scenery.
Yeah.
And drinking bourbon on the rocks. Fancy ho-ho.
Cheers, boy.
Cheers.
And in honor of Black History Month, today's bourbon is brought to you by, well, not brought to you by, but we're drinking it, the Bro Brothers Bourbon.
Yeah.
This is the only black-owned bourbon distillery in America right now. They're actually pretty good.
It's actually pretty good. You guys go down to your local Total Wine and pick it up. It's not that expensive. It's like $40 a bottle.
About your average bottle price, yeah.
For your average price.
For good bourbon.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty solid, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can drink it straight up. Got a little bit of bite to it. Or you can drink it on the rocks, water it down slowly.
Yep. Yeah. However you enjoy your bourbon, that's how you're supposed to enjoy it.
Yeah, there's no wrong way to drink it.
Yep.
All right. So that being said, I say we should jump into the intro.
Let's get into it, man. So the movie starts off, right, with fucking, what was Joey Bishop? I don't know who his character is. Foster, right? Jimmy Foster? Wait,
yeah.
No, that's Peter Lawford.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then Joey Bishop's character in the movie is walking down the street, and he goes into Druckers. I don't know what the fuck. Apparently, it was like a barbershop?
Hairdresser. It was a hairdresser for men type thing.
Yeah.
It didn't say barbershop. It said hairdresser, which was kind of odd.
Yeah. And then he's checking everybody's face that has the hot towel shave going on. He just walks up, looks at him, like, oh, it's not the one. Goes to the next one. I'm like, what are you doing, Joey? This ain't how we do things here, man.
He's like, nope, not it.
Sorry. Just leaves a fucking towel on the floor and shit. And he doesn't do that, but he's looking for this, was he like a Russian dude or some shit like that?
He's some type of Middle Eastern, I think.
Something.
Yeah.
He's the brains behind the whole operation who comes up with the idea for this elaborate heist. And he's putting together the crew. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
And so literally the fucking first hour of the movie is them getting everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's 11 people, and they got to go through every fucking, like, little...
It's kind of crazy because, like, I never watched the original. I knew the one with the Rat Pack, but I just never watched it.
Right.
I haven't seen, like, a lot of, like, older movies.
Mm.
So I'm very familiar with the remake and all the sequels with George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
I've never seen any of them.
They're quite good. And they're kind of the opposite. Like, they take, like... 10 to 15 minutes in the beginning to basically get the crew together.
They're like, this is the characters. And remember, their faces.
Yeah, and like in the original Ocean's 11, they kind of go the opposite direction, and there's a lot of story involved. You kind of get to feel for the characters, and you get to see what they are, like their personalities and stuff. You get a little bit of bonding there. There's some love interest with Actually, two different ones.
Well, Frank's,
with Danny Ocean's ex-wife, and then his, I guess, lover,
his side piece.
Yeah, the side piece, and she's kind of a bitch.
She is, dude. Like, I thought the wife was supposed to be the bitch, and the other one was supposed to be the.
It's so weird because
it's like opposite.
Dude, the wife was so badass. She had his back the whole way.
She said, "Don't ever call me again, bitch."
She's like, "Go ahead and call me. You can waste your money."
Yeah, waste your fucking bitch. It's like, can I get an ex-wife like that?
Yeah,
Shit.
that was pretty hardcore. The wife's great. But the intro was pretty good. It was basically introducing all the characters slowly, but we didn't even get. I don't even think we got like 3 people in because it takes
a long time.
It takes them like 45 minutes to introduce all of Ocean's team.
I guess what it is too back then, films just were longer. People had a lot more better attention spans back then.
They had more attention spans, and they were definitely more social. So like movies now are written to be witty, and the jokes are short.
The focus, like, you got to pay attention.
Yeah, they don't have like
a quiz afterwards.
Yeah, they don't have like long dialogue. So there's not like a lot of like we're sitting here talking, right? And that wouldn't be like in a normal movie. Like the dialogue would be, we would be talking, but the dialogue would be incredibly short. It would have to be. It wouldn't be very in depth. The
dialogue would have to be, how is it going to further the progression of the film, kind of thing,
at a faster pace.
Yeah.
In a lot of these older movies, that's not the case. It's kind of like,
so how was your day? Well,
they want you. They want it to be like incredibly realistic, and they want you to feel for the characters, which is good. But obviously that doesn't hold up to today's standards with the attention span and you have to move the story along to cover the amount of ground.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you come across, like, I was used to watching movies that were like 2.5 hours long because the older films when I was watching as a kid growing up. And then now, like, when you come across a film that's like 2.5 hours long, people are like, "Oh my God, it's that fucking long." I'm like, dude, that's fucking nothing. Have you watched the movie before? Like, what the fuck are you complaining about? Like when they went nuts about, a 3-hour movie, I've never seen one of those before. I'm like, dude, fuck, get out of here, man.
Get out of my face.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Get out of my face.
Yeah, dude. Shit.
I love 3-hour movies, man. I'll sit down and watch the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy or the Star Wars trilogy, and like, I don't give a shit.
Like one film that's like 3 hours long. I've watched Che, the movie about Che Guevara. That's a 5-hour movie, dude. They had an intermission. It was nuts. We saw that in theaters. It was fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the way it is, though.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. It's sad. It's sad that we've come that way, but I mean,
those little bastard kids and their ADHD, they got to be, attention's got to be really short.
That's why I think like some movies and some franchises are doing it right. Like Star Wars, I think, is doing a good job because they're doing the story, but in a different medium. So they're using.
I think they're doing it better now.
I think they're doing a better job now because bless you. It's much easier. It's much easier to tell a storyline in a series. You have more time to grow with the characters.
Exactly. There's a lot more time to develop all those emotions.
That's why, like in a movie, like they need to do it as quick as possible. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this funny meme. It's like, "Oh, do you want to sit down and watch a 10-hour movie?" And he's like, "What? Fuck no." It's like, "How about if we break it up into 10 parts and you just binge watch the whole thing?" He's like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah, that's fucking true. People just don't like a movie. No, But it's literally just fucking a series. It's just it's basically the same shit.
Yeah, a series is the same thing, just broken up. But the best part is you can watch it at your leisure. But I mean, I feel like that's most movies now anyways because of streaming, every single platform.
Streaming, yeah, because I mean there are not many movies in the theaters now, so.
Yeah, so all right. We're going to have to move on to our next category now. We're going to do the cast.
All right, so the cast, we have obviously Frank Sinatra plays the whole Rat Pack basically. So the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, is Danny Ocean. Dean Martin plays Sam Harmon. The wonderfully talented, and all of the talent out of any one of the Rat Pack, Sammy Davis Jr. plays Josh Howard. Howard, yeah. Sorry, Harvard. I was like, huh? Peter Lawford, Jimmy Foster. Mm-hmm. Then it goes on to Angie Dickinson is Beatrice Ocean.
She's hot, man. I love that. Her hair was so good in that movie, too.
Richard Conte is Anthony Bergdorf.
Bergdorf,
yeah.
Bergdorf, yeah.
Then Cesar Romero, which was weird seeing Cesar Romero.
It was weird seeing him with no makeup.
Yeah.
And then the proper height.
I always thought he was short, dude. When I see him, I'm like, that motherfucker's tall.
Oh no, I think it's because they want Adam West to look. You know, he's the hero. You can't have the villain taller.
Imagine if they had fucking Cesar Romero as Batman. Jesus Christ. Cesar Romero plays Duke Santos. Patricia Wymore.
Patrice Wymore.
Patrice?
Yeah.
I said Patricia, huh?
Yeah, Patrice
Wymore. Adele Ekstrom.
Ekstrom.
Yeah,
Ekstrom.
Joey Bishop as Mushy O'Connors.
Yeah, Mushy.
Akim Tamirov.
Spiros.
Ace Boss?
Acebos. Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy that.
That's the head honcho. That's the fucking the main planner.
Yeah.
Henry Silva as Roger Cornel. Ilka?
Yeah, I want to say Ilka.
I was like looking at both letters.
It's like Ilka?
Yeah, Ilka. Ilka Chase as Mrs.
Restes? Reests?
I don't fucking know. Buddy Lester as Vince Masler. Richard
Benedict as Curly Steffens.
I'm scrolling up and down.
Oh, you're good. I got it. So Gene Wiles is Miss Bergdorf.
There we go.
Norman Fell is Peter Reimer. Clem Harvey is Lewis Jackson. Hank Henry is Mr. Kelly, the mortician. Lou Gallo is Adele's date. And Robert Falk is Sheriff Wimmer. Red Skelton is Red Skelton.
Oh, wow. He played himself. Yeah, he does himself, dude. He was an asshole in that movie.
Yeah. George Raft is Jack Strager.
That was George Raft?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. And the rest are uncredited, so we're going to give our cheers to everyone else that participated in Ocean's 11.
Yep. Cheers. Cheers, everyone. George Raft. I got surprised. I didn't even know that was fucking George Raft.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, the cast is pretty fucking tight. I mean, Sinatra, Dean Martin.
You get the whole...
Sammy Davis Jr., Cesar Romero. Like, what?
It's a weird... like, it's a great cast, and then you have, like, these oddballs that come at you out of nowhere, and you're like, wait, what?
It's fucking... This movie was great. Yeah. It's old as fuck. And 1960, 2 hours, 7 minutes, which is, I guess, for the time... I'd say it's a little long for the time.
Well, I mean, long.
Because there are some movies in
that like an hour and a half.
they were usually about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Which is actually the average length, average runtime of a movie.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like 2 hours, it's long, but not as long as other films, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess it was weird because what we were watching it on, it said 4 hours. And it threw me off. I'm like, this movie isn't 4 hours, right?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know.
But as the movie went on, well, I guess we'll get to that at the end, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end. All right, so let's move on to direction. So, Louis Milestone is the director.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
He's got quite a 53 credits to his name for directing.
Okay.
That's quite a lot.
His last directorial piece was 1963, 64?
Yeah, he did the original of Mice and Men.
Didn't even know there was an original Mice and Men. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was an original All Quiet on the Western Front, man.
Jesus Christ.
1930, 2 hours and 32 minutes.
1943, The North Star, The Purple Heart, The Guest in the House, A Walk in the Sun, The Stranger Love of Martha Ivers, Arch of Triumph. There's some classic, iconic movies here that he has directed. Les Miserables, 1952.
Miserable Lesbians, yeah.
Ooh, what is this? La Vedova X. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure about that, but I kind of want to see it.
Yeah. Mutiny on the Bounty, dude. That was Marlon Brando's one of his fucking memorable roles. Considering the fact that he went through, I don't know how many pairs of pants during the production.
Yeah.
He got pretty big.
It's
Nothing wrong with that, but...
It's Brando.
Yeah, it's Brando.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, he definitely knows his way around film, and it's like, this is a time like when directing was still very recent, very new. And he made this movie, even for the time, it was quite enjoyable, and everything... Even though we were talking about like long dialogue and stuff like that, but it seemed very natural. The characters were very tight, and like the camera angles were perfect. They weren't obscure or anything. So
I think maybe that's why it's not that I wasn't like attracted to this film, but as far as my attention during this film, like I had to like keep joking around in order to stay awake for it, because it's the lack of the cinematography. Rather, it's like, okay, everyone in shot, okay, good, go. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's how they did it then, though.
But yeah, it's just.
I mean, that's how they did it. That shows you how much like
cinema has changed.
Yeah, you know,
as far as what directors are being influenced by what directors, and
so it's not like the director's not only looking for just like a dead shot, like a dead straight shot anymore. They're looking for new angles, like in framework, to kind of like spice up their movie and give it that feel, that new modern
inside,
like, and then pull the audience right into it and have them fall like into the movie, you know, which is. I like that.
I do.
I like
because you definitely feel it. You're like, you're watching a scene and you're just watching it, but you're inside. You're feeling uneasy, a bit of tension. You're like, okay, why the fuck am I feeling like this? Or then when you realize that it was intentional, the director wanted this angle to go on, and the music was coming, and the actors were looking this way, and you're like, it's feeling this way.
Yeah, I hear you. So I mean, the direction is great, especially for the time, 1960.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty good. It's pretty on point. So I think we're good there. Let's move on to writing.
Writer is Harry Brown, Charles Lederer, and someone else. George. Oh, the story's based on George Clayton Johnson, Jack Golden Russell, and Billy Wilder. Wait, what?
Billy Wilder.
Billy Wilder is a director as well.
Okay.
And he's done a lot of movies, like a shit ton, dude. Well, anyways, these guys all had a hand in either writing or coming up with the story.
Yeah.
So no wonder why the fucking film had so many people. And like, you have three guys coming up with the story of like, and then there's this guy, right? He's like a World War II guy, but he's also friends with this guy because they served in the same unit. It's like, okay, we get it. You guys are just getting the whole unit back together to fucking do this.
Getting the team back together.
The Flying Hellfish. That's not what they were called. I was just
the Flying Hellfish. The Dirty Ladles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, writing was good.
Writing, yeah.
There was a lot of love interests.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. There was a lot of that in the beginning. That was like kind of like the first like 20 minutes was like Danny and his ex-wife and the side piece, you know.
I mean, a lot of it's
what it is. But I feel like a lot of older movies they always have to throw that in there.
They did.
Yeah.
I think they did, and then it just feels like this one in particular is like, okay, we're having a male audience, so we gotta have the attention of them. Throw in this girl, like here she is.
Throw in the hot chick.
Yeah, throw her in there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good. So I think the writing's fine. Maybe just could have tightened it up just a little bit, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. Can't change it. So I say we move on to our next category. We're going to do originality next. So in the 1960s, were there a lot of heist movies? I don't know if there were.
I want to say that this one was one of the films that kind of really kicked it off, because you had the movie The Italian Job, which was also in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
I think it's later 60s. So this is literally 1960s.
This is like, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is like the first film to sort of kick off all these other heist things, because, especially like the early and mid 60s, that was it. That was just like heist films and shit. It wasn't until late 60s when you started getting the spaghetti westerns, or mid 60s.
Yeah, mid 60s got the spaghetti westerns.
So yeah, I mean, this was it as far as American cinema went. Like, I really can't think of other fucking movies that sort of heist movies that came out around that time, though.
Yeah,
but I know that there are some.
There are some for sure, but I mean, are there any? There's not many that I could think of that are as iconic as Ocean's 11. You know,
I mean, realistically, this was sort of that one movie that had it all, really. It had so much as far as their cast goes, and out of all the heist movies that come out during that decade, this is the one film that got remade and sequeled over and over again. They really dragged that fucking franchise by the throat and buried it in the ground, right?
Yes, I mean, it has three movies with the male cast and one with the female. So, I mean, Yeah, it's big. It's big.
I would like to see them do a spin-off, like a little thing of like Ocean's 11, but it's like
All babies.
all women, but they were all women's auxiliary service pilots during World War II.
Nice.
That would be sweet.
That's pretty sweet. It's doable. That's doable.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
That's
Like it's
doable.
the Wasps are they're up there. Respect.
Let's talk about the heist. So the overall heist of this movie,
It's pretty simple
right?
considering for its time because there isn't as much electronic.
Yeah, they didn't have cameras or anything. They didn't have like audio equipment really.
Like security could fall asleep.
Security was a dude,
Yeah.
and people are unreliable.
They're like, watch this poker chip. He's like, huh?
Huh? He's like,
Like, okay, get in the door.
money.
Like, it's so fucking easy. Like,
The one security guard who always had his back to the door and is just sitting there,
He's like, no one's getting through this door.
right, that I can't see behind me.
Yeah, basically, dude. It's just, it makes you think, like, if it was so easy to steal money from these casinos, why didn't everybody else do that at this time? Like, the fuck?
Well, because like,
Nobody was criminals. I get it. Yeah.
well, it's not that. It's just getting away was the hard part. Like now,
Amen,
getting
everybody.
in and getting away is the hard part.
Yeah.
Getting away was always, you're in the middle of the desert, so getting away is virtually impossible. You know,
Yeah.
because like literally minutes after they were robbed, they were like the police were everywhere, like all over Vegas.
And this was obviously 1960 Las Vegas, so it's not the Vegas that we know and love today.
Yeah,
It was still sort of fucking sawdust, fucking sack of shit town.
yeah. There was only a handful of casinos like on the strip.
Yep.
You know,
That was it.
that was it. You know. So I mean, getting away was the issue. But I mean, overall, the heist was very simple. They're just like, we're gonna rig this. For New Year's, it was 1:38 was the length of the New Year's song, and then the power would cut out, and then when the power cuts out, the fucking doors open all simultaneously, and then they just fucking pull all the money out
They
of the
robbed
safe,
them blind.
which is
Oh,
weird
literally.
because like one small duffel bag held all the money for the casino in
It
a
was like
safe.
a bowling ball bag.
It was
And
right.
It was like supposed to be millions inside each bag. I'm like, that's not
There'd have to be at least a little like 2.3 or 2.4 mil to cover
the
a million
entire
each.
amount. Yeah.
Yeah, for like $1 million each.
I don't know.
So I mean,
Didn't seem as believable, but whatever.
but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, the heist was simple enough, and it was definitely, I feel, doable. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it felt pretty interesting because the guy who had to do all the work, he only had like an hour and like 42 minutes to get it done.
Yeah.
And like he couldn't just set it all on a timer and leave it. He's like, it's too unreliable. He's like, I have to go do it.
An hour before.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like he fucking poor guy.
So it was funny. Yeah. It was weird seeing him too because I was so used to seeing him as Don Barzini in The Godfather.
Don Barzini.
Don Barzini. So seeing him in this movie, I was like, what the fuck? That's him. Looks so young, obviously kind of younger, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this whole heist seemed very doable. It was just kind of odd. I don't know. Like, there should have been a better way around it, but they did what they had to do, and they got away with it pretty much. So, can't complain about results.
They did get away with it, but I mean, yeah. So we're gonna do performance. So let's talk about Danny Ocean. So Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
I haven't watched a lot of movies with him in it. I've only heard music. So I mean, to actually see him act and perform was actually pretty cool.
So obviously with these like the main three, you know, people are so used to either hearing their name or hearing their music, but never really quite taking the time to see some of their films.
Yeah.
They really have some talent behind all three of them. Sammy Davis Jr. more so than anyone else in the fucking Rat Pack, but Frank Sinatra did. There was a movie where he played a heroin addict.
Really?
Yeah.
A heroin addict.
Yeah, it was like a 1950s, 1960s film. I forget what it's called. And he also did, obviously, Frank Sinatra was in the musical Guys and Dolls with Marlon Brando.
Okay.
He did a bunch of films. He was in was it him that was in? He was in From Here to Eternity. That was a World War II film. and that kind of really helped boost his career further. With Dean Martin, I know he did obviously his whole fucking like wrecking crew, the Matt Helm or some shit like that. Series that he did, and those movies are just so fucking goofy. You've seen clips of it. Remember that movie that The Wrecking Crew is the film that Sharon Tate goes to see in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
That's the film she sees, and that's Dean Martin in the movie. Yeah, those are his little spy sort of James Bond response to the British film series. With Sammy Davis Jr., he did this really fantastic movie called A Man Called Adam.
A Man Called Adam.
We got to look that one up, dude.
Right.
And in honor for Black History Month, I think we should watch that one next because he does such a fucking phenomenal role, dude. It hurts, man. You watch his performance and the way he treats other people because he's like such a sack of shit, dude. He's like a jazz musician who's, I think he's also addicted to heroin. Like he's just a piece of shit. But Sammy Davis Jr., like, because you love him already, but man, you just see like what he's going through and the demons that he has, and it's like, man, you feel bad for him, but he's a shit guy.
Okay.
But it's a really good movie, dude.
Okay. I'm down. Yeah, well, that's coming up. Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly nice to see like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. to just fucking act and actually kill the movie. Like they fucking killed those
Stole
roles.
the show, man.
Killed those roles, and it was pretty phenomenal, Yep. And then also to see, Cesar Romero in something other than the Joker. I mean, obviously that's the only thing I know. I mean, he's a certified actor.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a thing he did.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't seen a lot of his older stuff, so
yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him anywhere outside of Batman.
So I mean, to see him in that and in this, and his role was fucking solid.
Mm-hmm.
He was fucking. It was probably one of the most believable characters in this movie.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so I mean, to see that was really good.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the performances in this movie. Granted, it was a little slow, but I mean, that's the times.
It was a little slow. Sometimes the sound was a little off from what was being said in the movie.
That's timing, but I mean that's
that's post production. Like, what are you gonna do with that shit? You good?
I lost the ice.
It's fine. It's like, what are you shooting ice at me for?
My bad.
Yeah, but I mean, the performances were good. Obviously, you're gonna get great performances out of Frank Martin and Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Davis Jr. and Cesar Romero. So yeah.
But the rest of the cast too, they did a good job.
They did
a good job.
Yeah.
So it was a fun movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I laughed a lot. I didn't think I was gonna laugh that much.
Yeah. It was the little one-liners that Martin would deliver.
Considering it was so old, like I was like, am I even gonna laugh at this? Like I didn't know, but it was like, it was pretty fucking fun.
This is a Rat Pack. You're always gonna laugh.
Yeah, it was really good.
I think it was Dean Martin's really like, he always cracks me up. Like whatever he's doing, like in the background and shit like that. I don't know. He's too fucking funny. I love Martin.
Yeah, it's funny. It was good, very good. So I think we can move on to. Let's move on to some framework. I know there's not a lot of great framework in this movie. We were talking about it earlier. Is there anything in here that you liked at all?
The real framework that for me that really stood out was when they were all sort of together. When they finally all got together in the meeting. I liked how that was framed. It was like a big room. All the guys were just hanging out. There was another bit where I think it's Frank and Martin. They're in the room, and Dean Martin like leans back on the bed, and he's sitting there, and he's going to go for a drink, but he has a cigarette in his mouth, and like it's like so subtle that it's almost off camera. You just got to pay attention to Martin, to what he's doing, and he goes for a drink. He's like, oh wait a minute, just fucking. He cracks me up, dude. He's fucking hilarious, dude.
He almost had a complete fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because every fucking room inside this movie, like that they went into, was like a mini bar.
There was a bar in every
Everywhere,
fucking room they went to, and even the small hotel room they were staying at had a little tray like this, just full of alcohol.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice.
You don't get that kind of treatment anymore.
What was the deal with them drinking whiskey out of highball glasses?
That was just what they did, dude.
That's so weird.
Even in the 40s, like every fucking room, it was glasses like this weren't really a thing. They were.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy.
It's just
I wonder when this became a thing then.
I don't know. I gotta look at
Small
history of
glasses.
glasses. Yeah, history of drinking glasses.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring it up on a different movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But framework, yeah, I think that was pretty good. I think my favorite scene was actually the very end when they were rolling the credits and they were walking out. You got to see each one walk by the camera.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That's a very iconic scene, obviously.
very
and then
iconic.
That very last frame of Sammy Davis Jr. walking, and then behind him is the marquee with all their names on it.
Yeah.
At the hotel.
That's
Like
great.
the Rat Pags, Frank
The
Sinatra,
Rat
Dean
Pack.
Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Fucking cool.
That was a really good shot, and I really enjoyed that shot. Let's move on to a category I kind of skipped. We're gonna
It's okay.
backtrack now. We're gonna do the score.
Score was.
Let's see here.
I think this is also again the quintessential sort of heist music. Other than like the little bongo drums, like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Other than that, it was just very odd. It's very 1960s.
it's very
music,
1960s music, right?
But you know, it became a staple for heist movies, kind of thing.
So original music was done by Nelson Riddle. There was a lot of that, like kind of boom boom boom, like kind of silly like 50s 60s music.
Yeah.
So Nelson Riddle, versatile American arranger conductor who started as a trombonist with several big bands, including Tommy Dorsey, in a long distinguished career. Yeah, he did a bunch of movies. Also, Great Gatsby, El Dorado, Stuber. I mean, Stuber. Whoa! Hold on. Really? He did music for this movie? Stuber. That's a movie with was it Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista, where Kumail's an Uber driver and he's trying to get 5 stars, and then Dave Bautista's like a cop, or and he just that's what I'm saying, dude. That's like the guy was born in 1921. Hold on, I'm gonna go back.
Okay, hold on. I mean, like, to be honest, fucking.
No, dude. Why is that? That's weird. Because it says here, look, he died in 1985.
Did they use some of his music?
Maybe they must have used some of his music.
I was gonna say, I mean, it wouldn't be so far fetched because fucking Ennio Morricone was born around that time and he died only recently.
Okay.
I mean, I was like, but still, yeah. It was just
Okay, so they took some of his previously composed music and then used it in here.
okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, what the?
Trust
making-
us, folks. He's dead.
He's making music from the dead.
What?
What?
Dude, I wish Ennio Morricone would, man. I'd pay fucking for that shit.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, music was not bad. There was a couple of performances with Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr., Sinatra. Of course, they had to.
It was just weird because Dean Martin's character was like a World War II vet. I don't know what he did for a profession, but here he is like singing on stage, and it was just weird because the stage setup, it made him look taller when he got off stage. He's like, "Hi, ladies, you enjoying the show tonight? Good." And then he like just hops off, and it's so fucking. It looked weird. It's just, I was like, wait, is he playing himself? Is he is this like a character? I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, we all knew he was going to sing. And he was going to play one of his most iconic songs
Over and over again. When you got an olive oil voice like that,
Yeah.
you gotta sing over and over again.
Yeah. Over and over again.
But yeah, I mean, Sammy Davis Jr. too, his performance as well.
Oh, I love that performance actually when he was
In the garbage.
the garbage yard.
Yeah. Which was weird because you see them like they have like a little campfire outside on the garbage truck.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they allowed to do that?
And then Sammy Davis Jr. is just singing, and his voice is fucking incredible. And I'm like, he's a garbage man?
Yeah.
Like, he should be doing a show somewhere.
Get out of Hollywood, man. What are you doing? Like, that's what makes it not believable. I'm like, Sammy Davis Jr. is going to be
that doesn't make it
those
believable.
pipes. Come on.
Right? It's like, you don't got to steal money. You just go sing and earn
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
But yeah, he's fucking out of all of them, dude. He's the only one that's been performing since he was 3 years old, dude.
3?
Yeah, him and his dad. You know what his dad's name was?
No.
Sammy Davis Sr.
Uh-huh.
Come on, you fell right for it.
I fell right into that. I fell right into that one.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
But Sammy Davis Jr. has been performing, singing, dancing, acting ever since he was 3.
Okay.
That's why he has all that versatility and all that fucking talent, like all those years of experience behind him. He's such a powerhouse out of all of them. I mean, he's the hands down the most talented out of all the Rat Pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for him to have overcome his, the accident with he got into a car accident. Something about him not hitting the brakes, or whatever, and his head went straight into the steering wheel, and
then he lost his eye, right?
Basically, his eye was hanging out of its socket, and yeah,
probably has no use.
I don't think so. I think it was a glass eye, but
Okay.
they surgically did everything so well. It's hard to tell here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then obviously during that time, 1960s, the racial, the prejudice and all the civil rights movements, it was hard for someone like him to have become so big, considering that time.
Yeah, become such an icon.
An icon, and I think everyone was just mad at him because he's a black man in Hollywood and he's married to a white woman, and that was a no-no back then. But things have changed, thank God.
Changing for the better.
Yeah, it's good.
Changing for the better. But yeah,
slowly but surely, but changing.
His head into a steering wheel, like
yeah, dude.
And especially then, because they were like them thin ass. The steering wheels were like thin, and they were hard as shit.
They were hard, man.
Right? They don't have no airbags.
Cars back then.
They're like, what airbags? What is that shit?
Seatbelts? No, thank you.
Right? Seatbelts? Nobody wore that.
Yeah, it was like a whole car is made of steel. Watch out for the chrome.
Right?
Like,
they didn't even have seats. It was a bench in the front.
Cars built back then were a lot better. They were more durable, but
you're driving around it like a fucking steel tank.
Yeah, a fucking boat.
Yeah, everything was actually made of metal and not plastic. So, I mean, they have plastic engine parts now.
Ew, really?
Yes, they do.
Won't they break? Won't they snap?
It's not like this. It's not like the crankshaft or like the the heads or anything like. It's not none of that is.
Yeah, you really know your cars.
But some of the other parts inside of the like in the engine bay and some of the mechanical stuff is plastic. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing to cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they really lack. We're getting a little off topic.
We're getting a little off topic here.
We love cars, love old movies, love old stuff. I really love the most.
I bet you Sammy Davis Jr. loved his eye. So
yeah, he would probably be laughing at that too, man. I really love is like the old films that you watch. Literally every time a character walks into another room, there's a fucking bar somewhere. I'm like,
literally,
yes.
Literally.
I just need that in my life, man. I gotta watch.
And all the bars were they were like them classy fucking bars.
It was nice.
They're like
cabinet
high up, the glass mirror back, and then there was like levels and then bottles on each shelf and glasses there.
Like the one that Frank Sinatra opens up. Wait, I don't even know if it was a liquor cabinet because it cut so quickly. It's like a small thing like this, and he opens it up. And then he pulls out like the handkerchief or some shit like that. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
But I think below that was a couple of bottles stashed.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, they were always drinking.
Always, man. Like, how the hell? I don't know. Which was weird because Dean Martin, even though there was like they would always, joke around that he was such a big drinker.
Mm-hmm.
He only drank Martinelli's apple juice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
He drank a little bit, but he didn't drink as much as everyone thought he did. But he would play it off very well. He just was really good drunk.
Okay.
So it was pretty interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Which reminds me, I want to get some Martinelli's apple juice and try it out. Be like, when
was the last time you had one of those?
I don't think I've ever had apple juice.
You've never had one?
I mean, when I was a kid, I did have apple juice, but I don't remember ever having apple juice.
The Martinelli's one is like that came.
Wait, isn't that in the bottle?
It came in the one that looked like an apple. The little plastic container that looked like an apple.
No.
They also make like the sparkling cider and shit.
Is that for the bottle to make the kids look like, oh, hey, you're drinking alcohol on New Year's? Okay, that one, yeah. Okay, yeah.
But they have apple juice.
Now I'm drinking real alcohol.
They have apple juice, and like, I don't know, maybe they didn't start doing it till like 20 years ago, but the little personal ones look like apples.
Never seen him.
Okay. It's good though.
Got to check it out.
Yeah. So I mean, let's move on to our next category then. Let's move on to let's see, budget.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even look that up.
So let's see.
The
here.
budget was $11 million. No, I don't know.
No idea. To be honest, I can't.
That was supposed to be the amount of money that everybody collectively got. Like it was $1 million each for every person in the heist, which didn't seem as believable because of the small little. They were like fucking purses. They weren't even duffel bags, And it was like, how are you gonna fit $1 million in there? Like, it was just odd. Turns out there is no budget.
Well, we can't find the budget anywhere we were looking. But we did find what it made in the box office. So in the box office, it made $5.5 million.
Which
I say that's pretty successful for 1960. I mean, what were they
charging? That's a lot of money, dude.
What were they charging to go see a movie actually in the 60s?
Like
a 50 cents or something?
A Coke can.
A can.
Bring in a can of Coke and you get in for free.
Maybe 25 cents. Yeah.
Let me check 5.5 mil in today's moolah.
Yeah, I mean 5.5 million in 1960. That's so much fucking money.
I should put 1960.
Yeah. That's so much fucking money. It's got to be. Well, I'm going to go with like today's probably like what 120 value.
The converted amount would be in today's money. It says price terms about 40 million.
I'm way off. 40 mil, that's it?
In today's value.
I guess 8 times.
I don't know how to do math.
Yeah, neither do I.
Thank God for Google.
I feel like that would be a flop.
In today's money, 40 million in the box office, depending on what the budget was, which we don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't have the budget.
Internet, you're supposed to tell us everything.
Right. You're supposed to have everything,
right?
You liar.
Bastard.
But I guess.
Yep.
It was successful enough to be a franchise large enough to be successful and then produce, sequels later.
Yeah, remake and fucking sequel after sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Right.
It was a great movie, dude.
So. All right.
I mean, you haven't seen them in other movies that they've done, like Robin and the Seven Hoods or, fucking Sergeants 3 and 4 for Texas,
Yeah.
Those movies didn't make a spinoff, which Robin and the Seven Hoods is one of my favorite films, actually, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to do that sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to start doing some more classic movies, and then maybe we'll try and format it so it's a little bit shorter, we can run through it quicker.
Yep.
Sounds good. Be really fun to do.
We start smoking in here, too.
Right. Bring out the cigars.
Damn.
Cigar sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're gonna move on to I guess our last category. We're gonna do the outro.
Yeah. The outro was strange with the way this movie was filmed. Like, it almost seemed that the entire heist took only about 5-10 minutes.
The heist was like maybe 10 minutes long.
Everything else was just before and after.
Yeah.
And it was just so fucking like, you're like, get on with the heist.
Yeah. I wanted to see the heist, or at least the build up to the heist. And then an hour into the movie, they're like, okay, the team's together.
Yep.
Like, what?
An hour into the movie, team's together. They finally pull off the heist, and the heist is done. It's completed. And you're like, oh, cool, the movie's going to wrap. And it just keeps going.
It does drag on just a little bit in the end.
And you're like, what's going on? Like, do we end? We're following this other character story who was just like a minor character in the prologue and shit, like, or in the beginning, fucking. And now he's like going on like, hold on, who'd you say robbed what casino? Wait a minute, I think I have an idea. And like he goes off and like, oh man, it's like shit. Just end it. Fucking go. But the last 15 minutes of the film were what they had. If you guys want to watch the movie, it's great. We're not going to steer you wrong, but we're also not going to tell you what happens to the money. But the last 15 minutes kind of has to do with.
You can. I mean, we have a spoiler announcement at the beginning of the.
Oh, we do? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
the
money
intro.
Gets burned.
Yeah.
It goes to a garbage dump and then it gets burned afterwards.
Yeah, so what happens is they can't make out with the money. So Sammy Davis Jr.'s character, which is what, Josh,
Josh
he hides the money Obviously, 'cause he was driving the dump truck. He's in the dump, pulls all the cans out, or the money out of the back.
He runs into
And
the
he
little
runs into
fort
this little fort
that he
spot.
made for like a little garbage
And
fort. He's like,
He
yeah,
dumps it into a barrel.
I'm a
And
garbage
then,
man.
they take that money and they can't leave Vegas yet because now fucking people are on their tail and just the police
close
are
it off.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And one of the members died, so they decide to hide that money in his
Coffin.
And they drop one of the 10,000 wraps. So that's how Santos finds out that they're the ones that fucking stole the money.
Yeah.
And he basically threatens them to turn them in unless he gives them half.
Because he told the people whose casinos were robbed, he told them that he would give them their money back.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was Santos's thing. But what's weird is like, so they go to with like the services for their fallen, fallen soldier.
Yeah, they go to the funeral.
Like the funeral or whatever. Yeah, he was cremated, so it wasn't really
But it's weird because it looked like a funeral setup, right? But they're cremating him.
Like in
at
the
the
other
funeral?
room, during the service, you can hear like
A fire,
like in the background.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's that noise? Like, what's that noise? What's that noise?
they're
And then
cremating him.
They're cremating him.
And just the look on everyone's face, like,
Yeah. And that's when Cesar Romero's character walks in, and everyone like kind of looks over the left shoulder, looking to see who walked in. And I don't know why, but Sammy Davis Jr. does the same. He like looks over his left shoulder. I'm like, Sammy, you can't use that eye.
you can't use that.
What are you doing?
We're laughing the whole time.
We're like, what is he doing, dude?
Fucking these guys looking at.
Like, hey, someone tell me what's going on back there. But it's Cesar Romero, and he's like showing them that, like, hey, fuckers, I know it was you who stole all the fucking money.
Yeah. So basically, the world is down $11 million.
Yeah, their
Just
whole fucking
gone
yeah.
into the ether.
They literally have 10,000, and that's not even theirs because he gave it to his wife.
They gave it to that guy's wife.
Yeah,
Which at least something went, So I mean that was kind of good, but it was such a bust because I was thinking the whole time, like, why didn't they just go bury it in the desert or just leave it in the
garbage
in
thing.
the garbage? Yeah. It was hidden,
He was in a fucking like a 50 round drum.
Yeah, one of those drums.
Could have fucking put something in it. Could have buried it. Put a mark the drum itself and be like, okay, I know where to come back to, and be like, this is it. This is where it's at. No one's gonna fucking go around searching in the dump unless you're looking for that
pick
money.
a good spot in the desert and just fucking bury
mark
it like fucking 10 feet down. There's fucking 11 guys. Well, technically 10. So I mean,
one foot for each guy. There you go, dude. That would have been a good setup too, because it seemed like the movie dragged on unnecessarily long, and it would have been ideal for them to set it up if they were like. It just didn't make any sense for the first film to be, the only film they ever did was to be so long. Like, it would have been smarter for them to cut the last, fucking 30 minutes of the movie?
I think it was about 20, 25 minutes, yeah.
30, yeah, like 25, 25, 30 minutes of the movie, cut that, make that into the opening sequel kind of shit, dude. That would have been nice,
Yeah.
Because then the audience would have left thinking, oh, cool, they got away with the money, that's awesome. But that's not what happened. You guys didn't wait.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, what?
Yeah.
Now they got to rob some other place and there's just a Ponzi scheme of them going around robbing other places in order to get the money back.
It was kind of a bummer. Like, right when they're like, he's being cremated. I'm like, we're at the funeral.
Stop. Stop.
Supposed to do that beforehand.
Yeah. Just blow it all out. Like the way they were blowing out the candles, like, hey, it's so dark in here.
I mean, it was kind of smart for them to use, the coffin as transport.
Yeah, because no one's going to look into a dead guy.
Yeah. And no, because technically the coffin that he would be transported in, they'd have to take him out of it. So whoever was working the morgue would definitely see all the money. They have to take him out of it.
Yeah. Oh, shit, that's right.
Because they have to put him in cold storage until they actually plant him into the ground.
Okay.
So, there's a little bit of flaws there, but
yeah,
it is what it is, It is what it is.
It's still an entertaining movie.
It was definitely entertaining.
Just dragged on a little bit too long.
A little bit at
odd.
the end, it started dragging.
Yeah.
A little bit at the end started dragging. I was like, oh, come on.
Maybe I found it so odd because I'm so used to older films with like when the whole plot thing is all resolved and everything's tied up in a bow, like they just cut it. Like that's the end of the fucking film. Like mid dialogue, they'll come in like with the fucking title card, the end, and the music starts playing. Like, wait, what was he saying? Like it's weird.
Hi, how you doing? At the end.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think this is gonna be a great day for a beautiful friendship. So I'm like, just fucking title card. The movie's over. Get out. Like it was weird.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is a great film. Can't argue it.
Can't argue that
I
one.
love it.
I think there's one last thing we got to do. We got to move on to the rating.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh. And this one is on you, sir.
Shit. Like, I want to give it, like, a high score because, you know, it's the Rat Pack, and I love the Rat Pack. But at the same time, like, it just, if I'm judging based off the film itself.
Which is what we're doing.
Yeah. I know.
I understand it is the Rat Pack. But, I mean, I wouldn't just rank it like a 5-star just because, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
This is a Rat Pack.
I don't know. Consider all things considered, man. I mean, I would have wished it had been a little bit shorter.
A little bit shorter would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the whole plot holes that you kind of just poked at right now. I'm like, okay, that kind of does make sense. So,
Yeah.
I would say like a good 3.5. 3.5 stars.
I'm good with 3.5. That's a little bit above the medium, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 3.5. I don't fucking know. Like 1 star for each fucking Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. And the half we'll give it to, I don't know, Peter Lawford.
Peter Lawford?
The other member of the Rat Pack.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck Joey Bishop.
I thought you were gonna give the half star to Cesar Romero.
We can do that. We can do that. Give it to Cesar Romero. Give it to Cesar Romero. Fuck Peter Lawford too, actually. He kind of ruined everything. He was actually he was the brother-in-law to a little guy named President John F. Kennedy.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a whole fucking thing. We can go into an entire different podcast about it all, dude. It's nuts.
I think we'll have to do that sometime. We'll have to do that sometime. For sure. Yeah, so 3.5. We got Frank, Dean, and Sammy, and then 1/2 of Cesar.
Yep. Half a Caesar. There we go.
Yeah.
I think that's all was left of Julius Caesar, too, by the time they were through with him. E2 Brutai.
E2 Brutai. Yeah, so I think we're pretty good with that, right? You have any closing comments or anything?
Other than go see the original film. If you like, what is your opinion about the remake Ocean's 11 in comparison to this one? Because I would tell people to watch this one.
Okay, so if you want to be honest, if you haven't seen any, I highly doubt that. And if you haven't seen any, I would start with this one first and then move on to the Ocean's 11 with like George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Because obviously, this is gonna be so it's outdated, and if you watch Ocean's 11 with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, you're gonna be like, why did I bother going back and watching? Because it's gonna seem dated, because it is, you know. So unless you're incredibly patient and have like a high love for movies, I don't think you're gonna appreciate it as much unless you watch it first and you get to see what that franchise like spawned.
Yeah.
You know,
it really did. Yeah.
Yeah, but all those other movies are great too. So I mean, check them out. I'm not entirely sure where you can view them at. So I mean, if you're looking for the original Ocean's 11, I would probably check
Blockbuster.
Amazon. I would assume would have it.
I don't know.
Maybe Paramount. But if not, I'm sure you could purchase it or rent it on either one of those services.
Yeah. So.
Check it out. Give us your opinion. You know.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and like, share, subscribe, and tune in next week when we're gonna try and watch another film. We'll try and watch Man Calls Adam.
We'll try. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Happens.
We're always gonna be reviewing films, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And if you guys have any suggestions or just want to shoot the shit with us, email us at nyec.gse@gmail.com. And, you know, as always, just keep watching movies. If you go see a movie in theaters,
be safe.
Be safe. Support your local cinema. You know, definitely support your local cinema. And then, hey, maybe you can email us and tell us what you saw. Maybe we'll go see it and review it.
That's right.
I love the theater. So.
Oh yeah.
So until next time.
Happy movie going.
Happy movie going. Cheers.